Viewing a property can be intimidating at best, whether you are viewing a property to buy it, to stay in there, or whether you're viewing the property for investment purposes. Either which way, there's a lot of nerves that go into it. So in today's video, I'm going to be unpacking 5 tips for viewing property, but more specifically 5 important tips. And I'm going to share with you why I call these tips important from an actual viewing that I did to highlight the point so that you can actually see what I see and then say, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Maybe I could roll with a couple of those important tips that Genevieve shared in her video today. Welcome to my channel. My name is Genevieve Stafford-Jack. If you're here for the first time, I'd love to welcome you. If you're returning, I would like to say welcome back for yet another important video. So let's just set up this, right? However which way you found this property, now it's your day for viewing. You want to actually remind yourself, property is a people game. So what should I do? Let me be open, friendly, a smile on my face, not too overly, but at least just be moderate. Just think about yourself when you first meet people. Some of you may say, no, Genevieve, but just try it. Okay. So now you are in this space, you get to the property. One of the first things that I do, I whip out my checklist. Ta-da! And then I ask myself, Genevieve, you've got this. Have you got this, Jen? Yes, I've got this. Have a quick pep talk to myself, right? If I'm going to be meeting the real estate agent or if I'm going to be meeting the person that is actually selling the property, I approach them. Hi, good afternoon, good morning, whichever time of day it is. How are you doing? Thank you so much for allowing me to come and view the property today. I hope you don't mind. I've brought a checklist so that I could just write down some things that I need to remember, because viewing a property can be emotional, or viewing a property can be so, find a word, find something to express at that time, right? But what I find when you do that, the next person reciprocates. Like, hey, you're a little bit nervous, and acknowledge that. So now with tip number 1, with your checklist out, they're not going to be wondering what is it that you're writing, right? So tip number 2, in this conversation, you're going to be asking open questions. Why would you like to ask open questions? Because you want to get the story behind the story. Why is it that the seller wants to sell the property? And if the owner of the actual property is not staying in there, ask, how long have the tenants been staying? What is the sort of relationship between the tenant and the person that is selling the property? And then you'll start seeing things will start coming out as they go along. And that's the important tip number 2. Number 3 is a huge one. Yes, you've got your checklist. Yes, you're asking open questions, right? But the third one for me is classic. And here's why. When you ask, is it okay that here and there when I see something I am not certain about, if I could take a short video or if I could take a picture, would you be comfortable? Because remember, property is a people game. You want to also have the person that's with you comfortable with the things that you are doing, because they potentially could say no. But when they say yes, do you want to see in a quick 1.5 minute video how it just all of a sudden starts popping on why you want to have some sort of footage in your mind? Here's it coming up now. Now, isn't that interesting? A quick 1.5 minute video. You've seen the carpets, you've seen the state of the toilet, you've seen the old cupboards that were there. You've even seen what was happening on the roof. I mean, what was that bag doing up there in the roof, right? It's somebody's makeshift way of making sure that they're catching water that's coming through the roof. It's somebody's makeshift way of actually working with the problem that they had. So you want to be a problem solver when you get there. Which now leads me into, you've got your checklist, you're asking questions, you've asked, is it okay if you take pictures or videos, right? Now, the fourth thing you want to keep in mind when viewing a property. At some point, a real estate agent is going to ask you at the end of viewing a property, do you want to sign an offer to purchase now? Now, there's so much that you've just taken in, and it's an emotional journey. You want to say, could I have time to digest all of what I've seen? Could I have time to go through my checklist and potentially bring someone that's going to help me fix what's in this particular property before I make an offer? So the fourth tip is really just be sober-minded as far as possible, and do not, for the love of George, just sign an offer to purchase because things look so good. I know that feeling. I know that you'll be tempted, but you know what? You rather have your T's crossed and your I's dotted before you take that jump into signing an offer to purchase. Tip number 5, damp. Now, I also mentioned damp because, as you saw in the video earlier, that there was something going on in the ceiling. You know, damp comes from the bottom up, or it comes through a leaking roof. You really want to ensure that you have checked these things properly. And this is the bonus tip that I was talking about. As a property investor or somebody that is interested in buying property for investment purposes, you want to start all of this stuff from the outside and then go in. And here's why. You know, when you start looking at things from the outside, you know, the damp that I've just mentioned, you'll be able to see it on the wall outside if the damp is coming from the bottom up, right? You'll be able to see, oh, there's damp here, which then goes to reason that potentially when I get inside, the bathroom was some sort of room in the house has got plumbing. So you want to then check if there's damp here outside. When you are inside, is everything all pretty and pristine? Because sometimes, and only sometimes, people paint over a disaster. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but when you actually get to the nuts and bolts of things, they've just painted over the problem and not taken care of the root cause of the problem. You see, this is one of the reasons why when people contact me and they say, I need a coach, I'm not too sure why I need a coach, but I want a coach, right? I start asking questions. What are you doing? What do you want to do? And things like that. And then I say, I've got a service where you can call me as long as you're in the West Rand in Johannesburg. You can call me and we can go and view a property. And when we view a property together, how are we going to be collecting data? And we meet 1 hour before viewing that property. And the reason why is because we then start driving the area to understand what goes on in that area. So by the time we're actually viewing the property and having the discussion with the real estate agent, we've then got a better picture of the environment. And then we are able to ask the real estate agent, do you have a Lightstone report that you could share with me? Again, collecting data. And the reason you want to go in prepared in viewing a property, and again, like I said, especially from a property investing point of view, you want to know that you have not thrown away your money, but instead you've gone in on a property that may look good as a property investing opportunity, but you also understand how much work actually goes into getting that property back up to market value so that you are able to either rent or sell that particular property. And I keep this particular point to the end because those that are interested in investing will get to this particular point and say, oh, I didn't realize there was such a service that Jen offers. And I found that that becomes so important because more often than not, it's not that people don't know how. Often than not, it's the fear of, am I going to remember everything? Am I going to remember what I'd learned? Am I going to, and then we put ourselves under undue pressure. So if you are interested in getting to understand more about property investing, I want to welcome you to check out more videos, short, concise videos, just like the one of today. I'm going to put up in this corner the playlist that talks to getting started in property investing so that you can actually get in and hear and see the different types of things that goes into property investing. So will I see you over here in the playlist?